next league today, we're playing some more Legacy. We're playing my current Grixis Delver build, which is fairly stock, except I have this Bitter Blossom and this Dead Gone in the main as like the particular standouts, and I'm running an island in my sideboard, which I've been really pleased with. So pretty excited to jam some games of this. This hand is great. An early threat, some removal, some interaction. Couldn't really ask for much more. I guess we could ask for a Death Right, but... Ooh, we have a Force as well in case we're against a combo deck. Let's just run out our Delver. Yeah, Dead Gone is really nice. At the Duel for Duels, I was playing against Turbo Depths, and on the turn where he was going to go to combo, I revealed my Dead Gone to flip for my Delver. It was so delightful. Lightning Bolt. This might be an aggressive daze, but I think it's fine. I just don't want to like lose my only threat. That's fair, Charlotte. Like, we can do it another day. Young Pyromancer. Okay. I've never actually played Rogue, but I'm like pretty interested in trying it out at some point. Basically any day where I'm playing Legacy, I'll happily do donation leagues in Legacy. I think I'm going to force this and untap and wasteland them. I think that's fine. I don't really want them to like start getting tokens off this. And this gives like the free win potential off the wasteland, which is really nice. I tend to play the mirror pretty aggressively with my resources. I find like a significant number of your wins just come from like randomly running people over. By like them missing after you've wastelanded them or whatever. Let's just kill this before they can make tokens. Like, you can try and preserve your cards and like grind out card advantage and stuff, but that's just not how really things end up playing out. You just want to like trip your opponent up at the right point a lot of the time. It's like, I used to be really down on the turn 1 wasteland you after you've played a Delver thing. But I'm like increasingly wondering if it's just correct. Just because it gets you so many free wins that you don't deserve. Did they shuffle? They chose to shuffle. So they pondered, probably because they don't have a second land. And they're looking for one. So we 100% wasteland there. Why not play check pile? I think check pile's really good. I like check pile. I just also happen to really enjoy Delver. I do play check pile on stream occasionally. Okay, so they did have the second land. If they can't kill our Delver though, they're taking a lot of damage here. I'm gonna save this. I could probe into a spell to play this turn, but I kinda want to go Pyro Probe to like guarantee my token. The chances we hit something to do off the probe aren't like that high. Whereas the token is pretty high value. It means if our Pyro dies, we still have something going on. Okay. That's a wasteland. Hopefully they don't have a threat here. If they do, we're like fairly far behind. Worth noting, we've lost a Volk and an Underground Sea, so you can end up in awkward situations where, like, once they've hit 2 of your Volks, it becomes really scary to play out the 3rd one at some point. Since it gets the... I'm just gonna lead with this. So if they want to daze my probe, I think I'm fine with that. Wasteland Delta, so yeah. You get to this awkward point where if you like get 2 Volks wasted, then you have to be really scared of them wasting the 3rd, because then you'll just cut off red mana. Except if you can like secure a Deathrite Shaman in play. I guess this is pretty awkward, because now they get to untap and wasteland me. Maybe I meant to hold that, so I can like bolt a threat guaranteed off of it. Or like cast a cantrip. This is really bad. Hey, Michael. Yeah, we shouldn't have played this out. There's no reason to expose it. Otherwise we can cast a Ponder if we draw one. Or we can like even cast our Bolt at some point. This turn we could have like landed a Delver on board and at least had a clock. Yeah, it was very bad, George. It is something I would almost certainly not have done had I not been talking at the same point, but it's fine. I'm aware I give up percentage when streaming, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so the cantrip sequencing. I was not paying that close attention. We're definitely killing the Shaman. I'm going to wait until end step. Because then, if they want to spell pierce a bolt, they have to crack their fetch, which means they can't save it for a brainstorm. We have to hope they don't have another wasteland, but that's basically always the case. Getting the Deathrite out of play is nice though. So what are you referring to? You mean with they cast Deathrite before they cast Ponder? Yeah, that's probably just bad sequencing, unless they like really want to force a will to protect a Shaman, which is very unlikely. I'm going to lead with Ponder. I just want to find more lands here. We doubt they have a spell pierce because they probably would have protected the Shaman. I could keep the Force because it lets me double spell at some point. But if he just wants to shuffle, because having like a fresh look at hitting my land drop for the turn is so huge though. Not in love with taking 2 here, but I just want to like have the highest possibility of a land. But they have a Force. That makes sense, George. Shit. That's really good for them. Now they have double protection up for their Delver. Yeah, they do have the Force. Well, we have a Force to protect something of our own, potentially. I'm going to play the Delver here. Trying to bolt their Delver doesn't even really achieve anything through double protection. Whereas if they let this resolve, and we can flip it, we get to block. Yeah, they recognize this, and so force back. Next time we get to bolt with force back up and leave ourselves in bolt range for the rest of the game, which is exciting. So they put us down to 4. So we're going to upkeep bolt with force backup. Should we force back there? Then they just pierce our force, right? I guess it's like the same thing either way. Like, they're going to like pierce either our force or this bolt along the way. This gives us a look at like a fresh card to pitch to force instead of ponder. Days, okay, so we're dead. Yeah, we're just actually dead. Because even if we draw a bolt and we like have force backup, we take 1 off the force and end up dying to the aberration. But the force is trading for pierce. I'm not sure I understand, George. The same like subsection of spells are trading for each other throughout that. It doesn't matter when they end up trading for each other, they're still going to end up trading for each other. So we want this stuff. On the play I take out all my forces. I also like the island and dislike the Bitter Blossom. A braid is like a bit expensive, I think, for the matchup. On the draw I'll bring back in 2 forces, but on the play I just like to take them all out. Since on the play all our dazes are like fully powered. Oh, Spell Pierce is pretty bad too. I should maybe have trimmed on Spell Pierce. This is fine. Spell Pierce still does something on the play, it's not like the end of the world. This is fine. I mean, obviously we're keeping, I was just thinking about the sequencing. I'm probably gonna go see Delver. There's like... If they end up wastelanding me turn 1, I'm happy with that, so... I can save the probe. If I rip a red land, I get to make a token with the pyro. And like, the probe only affects my plays if I draw a Daze or Death Right, but things will probably play out pretty similarly regardless. This is fine. Delver, sure. So we get a Delver trigger. Spell Pierce is reasonable. So now I can probe to see what's going on before making any more decisions. So they have Pierce, Brainstorm, Pyro, and Freelance. They're really immune to Wasteland in this game. Although they do only have the 1 red source. Their hand is not very strong. So I would like to find an answer to their Young Pyromancer at some point. I can get my Young Pyromancer down for now. And then next turn, start digging for an answer to theirs. Knowing they don't have a Daze or a Bolt here makes playing out my Pyro really strong. Like, obviously we don't get to hold up the Pierce, which is a bit sad, but this is pretty good for us. So they're going to Brainstorm, try and find an answer to our Pyro before we get to go too crazy with it. Obviously not playing a land beforehand because they want to find a fetch, so they can shuffle away some of these like excess lands they have in hand. Or the Spell Pierce, which is like maybe going to be a bit hard to get value out of on the draw. I found a Delta, which is really good for them. Can shuffle away some stuff. Lightning Bolt is great. That means we can answer their Pyro. So I guess I go Island Ponder to start. Brainstorm, Ponder, Underground Sea. I mean, all the cantrips are really nice with my Young Pyromancer, right? So I'm probably just meant to keep this. I know they have a Spell Pierce. I'm not in love with letting them trade that for a spell on their own terms, but we get tokens out of the deal anyway, so it's probably fine. I think I'm saving this Bolt for their Young Pyromancer. I'm just going to attack for free with my Aberration. If I was to Bolt this Delver now, I get in for like an extra 2 damage with my Pyro this turn. I do get a bunch of tokens, so I go over the top of their Young Pyro, so maybe it's fine just to Bolt their Delver. They like Spell Pierce back, and I Spell Pierce them, and I have 3 tokens. Yeah, I think this puts like a crazy big clock on them. Like, not being able to answer their Pyro is sad, but we have cantrips, we'll find an answer at some point. Like, attacking for 5 this turn is just so huge. I kind of want to find an answer to Marsh Casualties at some point, but they have to deal with the Aberration before they can even do anything with Marsh Casualties anyway. Just like a Spell Pierce, and a Spell Pierce back. And I hope they don't have a Daze. Even if they do, we have a million tokens. Awesome. There's the Pyromancer. Rope's kind of good for them, it lets them catch up on tokens, I bet. They're still just going to fall too far behind though, to my board. Oh my god. Opponent running cold. Alright, on the draw, Spell Pierce is trash. And I really like having a couple forces on the draw, just so you don't stumble too much. Obviously, like, the card disadvantage isn't great, but I think it's important just not to stumble. I mean, this only has 1 land, which I'm not in love with, but we have to keep it. We've got Shaman on 1. We've got a bunch of interaction for various things. I think it's pretty unreasonable to mull this hand. If they go like Daze Wasteland, then good for them. I would expect there to be a large amount of Grixis Delver and 4-color control. I wouldn't expect it to be like... I expect less than half the field to be on those decks. I expect it to be very close to half the field, but I don't think it's gonna be over half the field. I'm just thinking what to do here. I almost just want to wasteland them. They went turn 1 ponder. They did choose not to shuffle though. They chose not to shuffle. So they almost certainly have more lands. Because like turn 1 ponder just indicates you're trying to dig for lands generally. It's kind of sad I can't justify getting the island here, but I think it's just incorrect not to lead on Shaman on 1 if you have a Shaman and don't have to interact with your opponent. If we got like dazed plus wastelanded, then that's just unfortunate. Yeah, half the field's still massive for sure, but yeah, it's still massive. In like normal Legacy events though, that just doesn't happen because lots of people just play like the deck they've owned for 4 years or their pet deck or whatever. It's just the PT is going to be very weird because it's the first time having like an event quite like that. Interesting. I really want to resolve this ponder. If, so we're definitely playing the Wasteland before anything. Our options are we can ponder now to guarantee to play around Daze, or we can waste their Trop to play around Spell Pierce. Opponent left in Spell Pierce even on the draw, so they definitely have them on the play. And them having like nothing else to do with their mana could just indicate that they have Spell Pierce in hand. Like, using a waste on a Trop's really sad, because Trop is their worst land, but I think I just need to resolve this ponder, is the problem. I think resolving the ponder is just super important. I think I'd rather play around Spell Pierce than Daze, considering what we've seen from our opponent. Land is great. So we're definitely drawing the land this turn. We can leave the Deathrite on top so that if they play something we want to like shock next turn, we can go Deathrite plus shock. That seems really good to me. Oh, I guess we can't play it this turn, but that's fine. I'm pretty happy drawing the Deathrite. Yeah, wasting is tough with two names in hand. This is true. I think I still like it, but I do agree it's like a tiny bit awkward. Alright, if they have a bolt for my Shaman, things get the tiniest bit tricky, but we want to shuffle away the Daze anyway, and I think I'd rather cast my Shaman than have access to my red spells. So if they don't have a bolt, then we're just like miles ahead. Another wasteland. Okay. Yep. Double wasteland is a way to win the mirror. It's certainly a way to win the mirror. If we'd had more cantrips in hand, I could even have got the island there, but the way my hand looked, I just had to play the Deathrite, I think. Okay, I could ponder for lands, or I could just try and kill this. I don't think I'm willing to play around the third wasteland. My hand's slow enough that even saving a few points of damage is pretty relevant, so I guess I should do it in their upkeep because we know they probably have Spell Pierce in their deck at the moment. And we get to see the spell off this. They don't have a fetch in play, so yeah, after the trigger, agree. They don't have a fetch in play, so we aren't giving them any advantage with this. Maybe it's aggressive to not take the 1 point there. Maybe taking the 1 point is like completely fine. So that we can like hold up our Dead Gone and maybe overwhelm a Deathrite Shaman instead. Fetch land's great. So we draw the fetch land. Then we can draw the Brainstorm next turn. Yeah, we have lots more resources for sure. We just need to buy time. Definitely agree with you about that, Kaylee. I think I like drawing this Brainstorm. I don't know if I'm actually brainstorming. Like, we have a fetch, and now's a good opportunity. I could also just play the Pyromancer. The thing is, if we play the Pyromancer, it's almost certainly just going to trade with a removal spell, right? Our opponent's not doing anything. Yeah, I'm just worried if we just jam Pyro. I think Pyro just ends up dying with no value. I kind of just want to Brainstorm. And then, like, maybe even shuffle away the Pyro. We have the 1C left, right? So we can still just jam a Deathrite here. I'm getting rid of the Pyromancer and maybe a True Name. I kind of want like some cheap stuff to do. Yeah, now I can cast my Deathrite this turn. I could also just get the Delver in play, since I'm more okay with the Delver dying than the Deathrite, but I kind of like using my black mana before my Underground Sea potentially gets killed, so if the Deathrite doesn't get killed, it's obviously amazing for me as well. Yeah, I like this too, Kaylee. I think it's really good. How this is set up at the moment. Hey there, Potato Mage. I'm wondering what's in their hand. I feel like they'd have killed the Deathrite if they had an answer to it. Right? I feel like the Deathrite is pretty great to kill. Oh, I didn't realize that. Hey Martin. Thank you. We'll try our hardest. This is a bit scary. The Young Pyromancer makes this Edict a lot worse at answering True Name, or Gurmy. Young Pyro is looking very, very good on this board. If they have a spell, which they probably do. Damn, killing Deathrite too. They're down to 1 spell in hand now though. And the damage is actually going to make this Delver a very quick clock. The damage from the Dismember. I could Brainstorm here. If I brick on my land, it's pretty rough though. I think I just want to like Lightning Bolt plus Delver. I guess if I hit a land, I get to guaranteed flip Delver. Which is like very good. Don't get dazed. That is fair. I'm just going to lead with the Bolt. I don't want to risk this getting countered. If it gets Spell Pierced, it's really sad, but... Right, opponent probably doesn't have anything in hand. They just let that happen. If I Brainstorm and hit a land, I get to go flipped Delver into True Name. I think I'm just going to actually cast the Brainstorm. I think hitting my third land drop this turn is just like really, really good. I can I can Brainstorm on an upkeep and just like flip Delver that way, I guess. I'm just going to do this. I think I like just leading on this Brainstorm. Okay, now we can play 2 Delvers next turn and flip both, right? Which is really good. This is provided they don't have a Forked Bolt. There's no way they have Marsh Casualties in hand, though. Cool. This is good for us. We have basically a 3-turn clock. We play both our Delvers, they flip, and then we have 6 points of bolts. We just have to like dodge Forked Bolt, pretty much. And thanks to these bolts, my Edict can even kill like a True Name or Gurmag if they draw one. This game has been grindy. Opponent's probably in a pretty tough spot, but obviously we don't know their hand. I'd comment on opponent tanking, except we've used 8 minutes more of our clock than them, as always. As is often the case. Okay, take the 1, quite happily. So we get to flip a Delver. Flip another Delver. Attack them for 6. That is fine. We can't really counter this anyway, right? I guess we could Brainstorm into Force. I don't think I would force this though. 1 aberration is more than enough of a clock with these bolts we have in hand. And I think I'm just going to Brainstorm here. I think I would quite like to find another threat. We've been through 3 Shamans, so I think I'm happy just leaving up red mana for my lightning bolts, should I decide to cast them. Lands. Okay, we're now Brainstorm locked, but that's fine. Lands are actually pretty good for us. I'm gonna hide this Wasteland. Play out my Volk so I can hold up double bolt. Should that be relevant? I guess it's not impossible they search for a C end of my turn for like an Edict or something, right? It's not impossible. In which case I'd want to Wasteland them off the C. Not really sure which land I meant to play. I guess I'm probably going to be playing around Daze this game anyway. For the rest of the game, so I'm just going to play out the Wasteland. If they decide to fetch up an underground sea, I can waste it before their turn. Like, the fact I kind of want to play around days, and so probably wouldn't cast 2 bolts in a turn anyway, makes like having the wasteland sitting there not nothing. Go to 14. If they ever crack this, they put themselves in like a multiple of free range, which is good. Okay, we now can't cast Edict, but that's fine. Gonna attack for free. Am I casting this true name into a daze? I can wait 1 turn to play around daze. Which I think is fine. I could definitely be punished. But there is some amount of interest in just like putting on as much pressure as possible whilst our opponent's behind, but I also just don't really want them like picking up a land, because then Brainstorm becomes like a very realistic out to what we have going on. Like having an extra card they can happily shuffle back. They're now on 6, so they're now dead to these. Yeah, the double bolt's going to be lethal, which is pretty nice. There is a Deathrite Shaman. I'm going to bolt now. Yeah, opponent's done. That worked out. Won the mirror, round 1. Alright. Yeah, I think my plan was cast 1 bolt end of turn and then untap, because then we can just play around Spell Pierce and make that card irrelevant. Anyway, I'm gonna disappear for a moment. I'm gonna head to the bathroom and refill my water. And then we'll be hopping into our second match with Grixis Delver. Currently 1-0, just won the mirror. So going pretty great. Cannot complain. Okay, I'm back. Can hop into our second match with Grixis Delver. Currently 1-0, which is pretty hype. Decent start. Very decent start. Winning the most important matchup in Legacy, the Mirror. Current plan is probably do this league and then do some cube for the rest of the day. Glad my Grixis Delver. Oh my god, Nucleo. My Grixis Delver like record lifetime is pretty unreal. Like I've probably won like 80% of my mirrors. As opposed to my Tron mirror record where I'm like actual 0%. Ooh. We're against Sam Pardee, right? Sounds pretty respectable. I don't know if you did, Nucleo. I don't know that I even care about probing turn 1. I'll go ahead and do it. We are playing the Mirror. Okay. Exciting. I'm just gonna jam my Shaman into play, I think. They can untap and bolt it, but it's kind of nice how this like forces my opponent to bolt. Whereas Delver, they can like ignore for a few turns if they want. And then we get to go like untap, waste you, play another Shaman. Yeah, for sure. Waste plus Death right next turn is looking really powerful. I assume this means Sam is his team's legacy player for the Team PT, potentially. Comes the bolts. Yep, that is fine. Another wasteland, Jesus. This game is going to be disgusting. Let's go for this island. I'm not really sure, MJ. Obviously I don't know like the remaining 2 cards. It's kind of tough. Like it's really, really tough because like you do want to be using your mana. Not leaving mana unused, but exposing yourself to wasteland is obviously really awkward too. Guess I'm just going to lead with Probe, get updated information to inform my plays with. Interesting, so they get to go Pyro with Force backup next turn. Into True Name. Alright, although we get to waste our opponent off of True Name. Oh wow, Force is so good. So, I probably want to go Delver, Ponder. I kind of want to save the Ponder for the Force as the thing, but I also want to like guarantee my Delver flip. I can probably find another blue card off this, right? Can probably find another blue card off this to guarantee my Ponder flip, my Delver flip. Yeah, I'm sandbagging the wasteland. So I lead with Ponder, so it can't get spell pierced. So I take the blue card, leave the bolt on top. So we go... I could even just play an Angler this turn is the thing, with Force backup. but there's a spell pierce up at the moment, so that isn't even good. So I go Angler, Bolt, True Name, no shuffle. So I now have the blue card for my Force. I can get rid of this Volcanic Island, make a blue mana, play the Delver, so that I don't have to shuffle my library. Those are famous last words, you're not incorrect. Alright, are we forcing this, or are we bolting it? If I bolt it, he can force back, get a token. So I guess I end up in like a similar situation. I'm just gonna force it. Just like deny him the token, be miles ahead. Yeah, I think the token is relevant. It's not like super relevant because of the left right, but awesome. The forcing back means we can now just bolt the Pyro anyway. Exile the Spell Pierce. He's pretty inclined to force there because the Spell Pierce is like close to a dead card. Yeah, I played Legacy at SCGCon. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time there. I actually really want to draw like Gurmag Angler, so I think I'm casting the bolts off the Death Rate and just like missing out on my 2 free life. It also means I can get an Underground Sea for the Death Rate, which is really nice. And we can just get rid of this Volcanic Island since we know he has another sea in hand. Oh, awesome. How did you do in the Duel for Duels? I think I lost my winning in for top 8 in the final round. I ended up... I'm still not sure if it was a misplay or not, but I named something on Cabal Therapy that did not work out. Like, in retrospect, it was probably too cute. Oh, cool. That's a really solid performance. I think I came 18th or something. Alright, we get to draw a Gurmag Angler, which is the single best threat in the mirror. So I'm just going to cast this first. It's obviously not great against True Name, but if he has to cast his True Name and leave it on defense for the rest of the game, we're like very okay with that. Oh no, that's really sad. I could afford 0 losses in day 2, and I won all but my final round. So, kind of a similar situation. Force pitching days, okay. Exciting. If I attack with the Shaman, does it speed up my clock at all? Or do I just want to gain the life? I think I want to attack. It's a 1-point life swing instead of 2, but I think that's reasonable. Okay. That game was fairly straightforward. Being on the play in the Delver Mirror confirmed good. Having 2 Death Rights in the Delver Mirror confirmed good. Okay, so on the draw, I want to take out Pierces, take out 2 Forces, and take out Bits of Blossom. I also like trimming on Dazes, but I can't. I've got nothing to bring in at the moment. Instead of them, I could bring in like an Abrade. But I think Abrade's just too expensive. I think even on the draw, Dazes are still good. They aren't as good, but. Oh, that's why I had the. Well, that's why I was able to board out a Daze in the mirror at the tournament this weekend. I had an Edict in my board instead of one of the other cards, so I had like an extra card for the mirror, which was nice. I like Force on the draw. I think a couple Forces on the draw is fine, because it's very easy to stumble on the draw, and you just want to like be able to keep up. You want Bitter Blossom against Miracles. It's excellent against Miracles. It's your single best card against Pile, and it's very good against any card, any deck with Dark Depths. It's like great against lands. It's great against Turbo Depths, because it just like blocks the 20/20 forever and buys you a lot of time. It's also quite good against Death and Taxes. Like, obviously lines up well against like Flicker Wisp and such. So, Bitter Blossom is very, very good. In the mirror, it's like justifiable. There are like games in the mirror where it would be amazing. There are also games in the mirror where like you get in like a race and Bitter Blossom just doesn't race well. So like I wouldn't fault someone for keeping it in the mirror, but I think there are games where it's very bad in the mirror, as well as games where it's like pretty good. Daze is decent here. So I'm gonna. There's no world in which they Daze my Probe, but I guess I might as well just play out the fetch. I'm just gonna Probe first. If he wants to Daze my Probe, I don't really care. Dazing the Probe seems really loose. Okay. Interesting. Well, now we get to play our Shaman with Daze back up, which seems great. I guess the Daze backup isn't that great because he's going to have 2 mana, but I'm pretty okay with this. Get our Underground Sea, cast our Shaman. Like, maybe I meant to play out the land first just to deny him the choice of dazing. Giving options to your opponent is generally bad. I could see that being the case. Please don't bolt me. Yeah, my opponent's Sampadi. Second Deathrite Shaman. Cool. So we're going to have a bunch of Deathrite staring at each other. I kind of want to... I don't know if I want to, like... If I get a second Deathrite in play, I just don't get to do anything, right? Because he just gets to hold up his Deathrites, and we know he has a mana-producing land in hand, so I think I'm just gonna Brainstorm this turn and try and dig for a land. And hope not to get Brainstorm locked. Sick. Alright. What am I shuffling away? The Daze is very bad against Deathrite. And I suspect I'm shuffling away Pyroblast. Since it's going to be really hard to hold this up anytime soon. And I can crack my fetch land, find an Underground Sea. Might almost be correct to get a Trop instead. I'm going to be taking like another 2 damage off this Probe. Being able to gain life with Shaman would be nice. I think this is fine. Probe, see what's going on. True name, Pyroblast, Underground Sea. Okay. That's reasonably threatening. Next turn we get to Bolt to Deathrite, play 2 Delvers though, which is going to be a fast clock. I'm currently regretting not having the days. Didn't really think about playing around True Name. Obviously the days would be like the most absurd thing in the world here. I guess we only get to make mana with one death right here. Yeah. That's true, Arc and Levin. So I want to bolt a Death Right and play 2 Delvers. Pretty sure. Just like hope he doesn't have a Daze in hand. He's gonna get to Pyroblast the Delver. That's fine. We still have 1 Delver remaining, and we have a Death Right. We have 2 Death Rights active, which is fairly strong. It's kind of unfortunate we've drawn 2 Volks, because I'd really like to be able to like have multiple Shaman activations up instead of just one. Like, we could very easily lose this race with like a Pyroblast taking down our Delver this turn. Ooh, no red source. That is great for us. Oh my god. Delver is in the revealed card zone. That is less great for us. That is very bad for us. So I cast my Delver. Maybe we don't, Kaylee. That's a reasonable point. That's a reasonable point. I'm wondering what I do with these Shamans. I'm definitely attacking with one. I'm getting across for free. Shaman activations are like the most confusing in the mirror, are the most confusing thing. So if I eat the days now, I guarantee my 2 damage. Otherwise we end up in like a holding situation where he just gets to pass with his Shaman activation up and use it on our end of turn. And we miss out on 2 damage. So he's always going to get the 2 damage across. So I guess I just want to do this now. We need to stop damage. It's really awkward though, because we only get to stop damage if we draw black producing land. And I think we just have to hope to draw an instant or sorcery, in which case we don't get to stop damage. I guess if we draw a bolt, we get to stop damage. But the increment of 2 doesn't really matter. I think losing 2 is fine. It's once the clock is increased by a turn that things get awkward. So I think I'm going to do this. And then like next turn we get to just like sit with Shaman activations up. I could miss out on 1 damage to stop him making mana if he draws like a wasteland or something. But I think every point matters the way things are panning out, so I'm just gonna attack with my Shaman. Yep, so we go to 7, then we go to 4. Alright, please flip. Yes, ponder. Perfect. So lucky. So lucky. So... yeah, exactly, MJ. That's my thinking too. This turn we hold it up. Let's lead on ponder. I don't think we want any of these. We're never casting those probes. Bolt is perfect. Now we can kill the death. No, now we have lethal, right? Now we have lethal. So 12, 13, 14. Yeah, now we have lethal. Yep. I mean, technically we have one more than lethal. If they don't have interaction, that's true. I still think we go for it, though. Cool. Oh, 2-0 in the mirror today. 2-0 in the mirror. Pretty great. List is awesome. I don't think anyone is boarding in surgical in the mirror, to be fair, but so he'd need like a spell pierce or something, or even a daze, like makes it so we can't activate the shaman, right? So we have to like let the bolt get countered so that we can hold up shaman activation so that we don't die. Once bolt resolves, it's only surgical, yeah. I guess also stifle, but I highly doubt that he's playing stifle. I would like to go first. I would like to mulligan this hand. See ya, Strifo. Right, let's just get our death right down. Yeah, exactly, Kaylee. Like, if the bolt gets countered, we just leave up shaman activation and try again next turn with our attacks. Like, we're still in like the same situation we were. Swamp. So this is pile. I know I can dead gone this, but I kind of don't hate just using up my days. I think. I guess it's nice getting something out of my dead gone. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll just dead on this, and I'll have like the extra mana for this turn. The dazes will do something against pile. Their deck is like really weak to daze. I think this is fine. It's just like where we didn't have the next land for this turn. It looks appealing, but this is fine. Alright, so we can brainstorm. Ooh, big fish is great. Pierce, then wasteland, that's the win, that's true. But we were like dead to wasteland anyway, right? Why not daze? Because dead gone only has like so many good targets in pile, and basically all of them are Deathrite Shaman. So I feel like we might as well just use the dead gone on Deathrite Shaman. The dead gone only has so many good targets, I mean. So we can get rid of one daze and we can get rid of like a ponder. So kind of want to keep the big fish. Getting rid of a daze is kind of sad. Daze is like so good against them, but we need the ponder to fuel our angler anyway. I can need a... I guess I can draw the days if I want. I can actually draw the days with this ponder and then shuffle. I feel like I just want to shuffle first though, so that I know what's coming. Let me ponder. Oh wow, that's that is some Deathrite Shamans. That might be too many Deathrite Shamans. I'm almost tempted to shuffle this. I think we've actually found a point where there's too many Deathrite Shamans. And like the land's not very useful to us either. Just like we're gonna have to eat our graveyard up for the Angler anyway, and it's like really close. Yeah, we do have the second sea, so we get to activate 2 of them, but there aren't going to be any instants. Like, there are not going to be many instants or sorceries left once we cast the fish, right? I'm actually just going to shuffle this. I think we'll be eating our graveyard too much with those cards. We only have so much graveyard to work with. Cool. Now we get to wasteland them and cast our Angler. Just kind of great. And cast the Delver. World is our oyster. We get to attack too. I guess I attack. Then they don't have days in pile. I should probably attack first, because if they have a fatal push, I guess if they have a fatal push, they'd have just used it already, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. So I could keep instant or sorcery in my yard for the shaman, but I think 1 shaman is going to be easy enough to find food for, and I kind of want to attack. So we're basically just hoping to dodge Deluge this game. If they cast a Strix, I'm going to have to daze it though, which would make Deluge viable for them. Yeah, I did draw very well after the shuffle, for sure. Couldn't really have asked for much more. Days, sure. Hit you for 8, have double days back up. Having to use up both dazes on a Strix potentially is really awkward. Snapcaster Bolts. So if I daze this, I put them to 1, and then Deluge isn't an out. So yes, I'm just going to do that. Yep, those certainly are some cards. Alright, I'm just going to cast my Threat. Deluge doesn't do anything anymore anyway. And Snap Bolt technically buys them a turn if we don't play this out. because they get to chump this and kill this. Ooh, alright, Shaman is good. They're trying their hardest. They have to chump with Snapcaster. If they can find a Strix off one of these cantrips though, they might be able to claw their way back in this. Obviously Bolt is lethal at the moment, which is nice. We still have 4 of those in the deck. And they can't use fetch lands unless they gain life with Shaman first. Which kind of like locks up a bunch of mana. They have Punishing Fire in their list. Okay. Punishing Fire is scary. Please flip. Next turn they get to gain 4 life. So this is looking perilous. I'm going to pay life here because I have true names in my deck. They have a Punishing Fire in hand. Jesus Christ. So they get to trade Strix for this. Then I guess they have to block with this, with the Strix. So the Punishing Fire is not going to do anything. They have to chump the Angler with a ground creature. So this is still fine. They can still only go up to 3 life next turn. So they're still dead to Bolt. And the Angler is still an Abyss. So we're still in a fine spot. I guess they can technically double Punishing Fire this next turn to kill it when they block with Shaman, but then they aren't gaining life. I'm going to play out 1 land so I can cantrip into a true name. Yeah, I don't think fire does anything. I agree. They get to take down the Angler with fire, I guess, but then they're losing the death rate, which means they can't gain life. Which means they're still just, dead to a top deck Bolt, or a top deck true name. So I think we're still in an okay spot, weirdly. Like they have to like draw some way to get a death rate back in play, like a Colligan's Command or another death rate, basically. I mean, he could have done it anyway, right? By making mana with the Deathrite Shaman. And my opponent going up to 3 life off the extra Shaman activation now isn't actually relevant to anything. Since, like, they're still dead to all the same things. I guess they get, like, I'm gonna keep these cards in hand for Brainstorm. I can currently cantrip into True Name and have the mana for it, so heh. Okay. That's a solid draw. I'm gonna do it in opponent's upkeep because they might have a force in hand. So I'd like to use up their mana on their turn if they do. Yeah, it's a good top deck. It's a very respectable top deck. Oh no, they're gonna kill themselves with their Punishing Fire. That's hilarious. Alright, so my normal boarding against normal pile would be that you take out these, bring in the Lilianas and the Pyroblasts, and like the Spell Pierce, the third Spell Pierce, you can like kind of give or take. However, there are Punishing Fires in my opponent's deck. And I've never played against this version before. I'm unsure if I just have to bring in Surgicals against Punishing Fire, since Punishing Fire is so good against my deck. I do have Wastelands for Groves, so it's not even like guaranteed my opponent will keep a Grove in play. Kinda unsure on this. Yeah, Surgical can also just fight Snapcaster. I think Surgical... I would never bring in Surgical against normal pile. But I think exiling Punishing Fire could be really important. And the fact it has other stuff it can hit that don't make it like completely embarrassing when they don't draw Punishing Fire. I think it's reasonable to board in Surgical. Like, we used 2 Dazes on a Snapcaster that game, right? I think it's reasonable to board in Surgical, just because we're so scared of fire. What cards are we boarding out? I think even on the draw days is very good. Could just, yeah, I agree, Kaylee. I'm not happy about it, but I think it's something we might just have to do. We could just bring in the one. We don't have to bring in both. Just having like one out to Punishing Fires. Yeah, we have Deathrite Shaman and Waste to fight it. Deathrite Shaman fights Punishing Fire very awkwardly, but... I'm going to try playing the game without these. And if we get murdered by Punishing Fire, I might bring them in. I mean, can't really mulligan this. It's obviously not good. No turn 1 Deathrite, not immediately punished. Gonna see they have no lands in hand and waste them. They have 1 land in hand, so I'm gonna wasteland them. Rather than like start casting stuff. I guess I drew a Delver. So I can go Delver this turn and waste them next turn. And like start casting cantrips next turn. I kind of like that. It's like, it's a bit awkward. Because now they get the shuffle off their fetch for the brainstorm. But I think this is fine. Yeah, To the Slaughter's been seeing a tiny bit of play as a one-of in some of these pile decks. I could daze this to like get rid of their shuffle, but I think that's a bit aggressive. I think the Wasteland's going to make the daze really good later. Yeah, but this isn't Rug. This is not Rug. I kind of like getting my threat on board before wasting them, I think. We will not reveal Underground Sea. We will waste them, 100%. Yeah, I do slightly regret it because they get this shuffle, right? Because of how we've done things. I think it's fine, but it's certainly not ideal. A bit of me wants to just like main phase this brainstorm to ensure my Delver flips. I could find like a probe that would give me more info, but it probably wouldn't affect my plays at all, so... I guess I can just wait on the brainstorm and like do it end of their turn if they don't kill my Delver. And if they do kill my Delver, then I just like get to keep hold of my brainstorm, which is nice. And like brainstorm main phase then. Right. I'm gonna spew this brainstorm now because I just want to like pressure them with my Delver before they can get their mana online and start doing big powerful things. We can't cast these red spells anyway, so I guess I just put them on top. Dead Delver. Fatal Push. Nope. Oh, they're playing her on Stifle. Okay, that's respectable. If they know they're gonna get Swamp anyway. So we get to attack for free. Put my opponent to 15. And cast a Deathrite Shaman. And the next turn we have access to True Name or maybe Angler. They are hitting their land drops decently. Dark Faden. Interesting. Pretty inclined to daze that. It's gonna soak up, like we get to kill it on our turn, I guess. The filtering's pretty relevant to them though. And then we have Pyroblast up for next turn, for like any of their big plays. I'm a bit scared of Toxic Deluge, but that's like the only card that really gets me. I guess if I daze this, then I don't get to hold up play a threat and hold up Pyroblast necessarily. This does just die. I think I want to do this though. I think the filtering is worth a lot to them. It's not like we can daze Toxic Deluge anyway after this turn. Alright. How much am I overcommitting? Cast Angler. And then if they deluge me, they take 5. So they end up on like 7. Which is kind of perilous for them. I think I want one more threat in play. It's obviously like worrying how weak it makes us to deluge. But between like the brainstorm and draw steps, they'd have had to find like multiple lands and a deluge. It's like not even that likely they have all the stuff they need. I think this is good. And if they don't have deluge, they're just like super dead. So they have deluge. Yep, that's fine. We still have True Name, which is gonna get to the Slaughtered probably. But it's not impossible they shuffled away the To the Slaughter because it's like expensive and clunky, right? I'm just gonna jam, force them to have the Slaughter. I guess they can go Snap Deluge, but then that puts them on 6, which makes another Bolt lethal. They still had the Slaughter, okay. don't know. Obviously, not respecting Deluge did not work out this game, but I feel like it was correct not to. I feel like if we don't do it, then like just a parade of edicts ends up getting us over time. Hopefully they don't have a bolt here. I think they might do. Alright, so now we just have to hold on and find another bolt, pretty much. I'm gonna kill the backup blue source because we know they have Jace and Snapcaster in their deck. Just like keep them off mana. Yeah, things get the worse the longer I wait. Yeah. Their deck is built to go much more over the top of you than Pile does. So it makes sense to just like jam, I think. Let's hide these. We stopped knowing what their hand was long ago. Alright, I can kill the Shaman, which is nice. Ponder. Oh my god. I could cast Liliana this turn if I'd left up double black. I think I'm shuffling this. Having to wait a turn on Liliana makes her a lot less exciting. And these two cards are just bad at the moment. And like a bolt wins us the game. So, or probably wins us the game. So I think shuffling there is fine. If I'd let off like Volk or Trop on the Ponder, I think I might have kept Liliana, because then I get to mill the other two cards. I get to mill the Pierce and the Sea, and make like draw a Deathrite or an Angler, and then like even if they kill Lily, I've like chewed through the Ponder stuff anyway and eaten up some of their mana. I'll just pass the turn back. Keep these in hand for Brainstorm. Dacking a Strix in the mirror, oh my god. That's kind of ridiculous, Nucleo. They're gonna get to ult Dack next turn. Which is like kind of scary. I guess that's like a reason to not keep Lily. They just get to steal her. I guess anything that isn't a bolt just doesn't matter anymore because of the Dack Faden emblem. We just want to get bolts and that's it. Nothing else matters. Wow. That's that is a 3-for-1. Hey Cliffy. Was that a good draw? Was that a good draw? I feel like that was a good draw. Get that distinct impression. Oh my god. Nah, opponent isn't furious. Opponent said GG's. Opponent was pretty chill about it. That seemed like a decent draw, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. 3-0. Delver too strong. Average plus. Average plus. Pretty hype. I'd love to get a trophy. It's been a while since I got a legacy trophy. Hey, Cliffy. Did Stoneforge Mystic become unbanned in Modern? Not as far as I'm aware. I feel like I'd have heard something about it. I know the price shot up, but I think that's the speculators speculating, as they always do. I would be so... I am crossing my fingers that Deathrite is legal on Monday, because it will make my life a lot easier. I'm just practicing in general. Like, I play this deck at most events, so... I tend to do some Grixis Delver practice on stream basically every week. This hand is pretty nice. Got a very good threat against a mid-range deck. We've got Force against combo decks. I will be very sad to shop. I do not think Shaman has to go, but I know some people do think that. At least we have this Bitter Blossom. Oh my god, I hate playing against lands so much. This is like my least favourite thing in the world to play against. I guess we can force the Molten Vortex at least. Am I pondering or delvering? Kind of want to ponder. Like, I can slam the Delver, but I kind of just want to be able to, like, Bitter Blossom next turn. I guess I'm, like, locked into forcing the Molten Vortex turn 1. Yeah, I like pondering. I just want to get the Bitter Blossom online as soon as possible, really. And, like, playing out Delver's just kind of bad against the fire. Well, 100% shuffling. This would be really nice against a Mare at Large, but I just want to find lands. Sick. Yeah, I would be 100% dead to waste. I think I'd accept that I'm 100% dead to waste, but it is true that I would be. Daze is not the worst. I think they're playing around Daze though, so... Right, let's get this going. Get the fairy train online. Yeah, the land's hands with exploration are much scarier, or Mox Diamond. And we're on the play as well, so I think we're in a decent spot at the moment. Bitter Blossom stops them killing us out of nowhere, and grinds through Punishing Fire pretty well. Crop Rot. Oh, Tranquil Thicket, okay, sure. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get the Bitter Blossom going as soon as possible. And, like, Punishing Fire is always going to be able to trade cleanly with Delver, so... I'm pretty sure I'm forcing this. I kind of want to pitch Daze. They have a lot of lands in hand. I think I'm just pitching Daze. Gamble so they can go find the Vespian stage or a Loam, one of the two. Wild Slash did top 4 GP, this is true. They discarded a port, so they got rid of one of their bad cards. They're probably going to try and Dark Depths us on 4 and start like chewing through our fairies. I'm going to lead on Brainstorm. I guess I want to flip Delver. Like lead on Brainstorm, go Delver plus Fetch maybe. Spell Pierce. Wasteland is a great draw. Wasteland is a very good draw. So I can leave Probe on top, play Delver, run out Wasteland as protection. They do have a port. I guess I can just play my fetch out. Yeah, shuffled away after the trigger. I think I like that. Get our Delver down. Obviously it's going to trade with a Punishing Fire, but it means we can accrue more fairies quicker, which I think is fine. Oh, so they tutored for the Grove. Huh. Interesting. Maybe I meant to play out Wasteland so I can kill the Grove before they get the fire back. That could make sense, because now they're going to get to return the fire, which is actually reasonably annoying. Yeah, they want to do this in upkeep before I can play a Wasteland. Opponent gets it. I kind of wanted to draw Probe for the info, I think. I guess I want to have another red source to make sure they can't, like... I guess I want to have another black source since most of my red stuff is instant speed. Makes sense. Although most of the creatures I don't really care about other than, like, True Name and Gurmag. I think my life total is high enough I can afford to pay life so that I can still play, like, True Name or Gurmag if I hit them. Obviously we do have to be a bit wary of this against this, but life from the loam is kind of scary. Let's ponder. Gurmag Angler. Perfect. Gurmag Angler is dreamy. Okay. Oh, I did shuffle this away, right? I guess I just drew one naturally. That's fine. Yeah, now they need Maze or Chasm. No shuffle. So an attack for 1. What am I doing with this Wasteland? I don't think I'm wasting the Grove, am I? I think I'm saving the waste to kill a combo piece. You think I waste the Grove? Oh, then I get to pierce the loam, that's true. I kind of just want to make sure I can stop a Dark Depths. I don't really care about my opponent casting a loam next turn, do I? I kind of just want to, like... Yeah, I can show him Dark Depths of Fairies, that's true. Oh, this is tough. I think both options are good. I kind of wish I'd topped the Everpierce now. I think I agree that topping the Everpierce was decent. We love that we have Dead Gone in our deck somewhere, so do I. I'm just going to pass the turn. I think I just want to like use Wasteland to keep a combo piece out of play. I know the fairies stop them attacking us, but... While they didn't cast the Loam, this means they might have Crop Rot in hand, right? Shit. I mean... Okay, so I can counter... I can pierce this, right? I pierce this, and then they can't use it this turn. And then I get to Wasteland one of the pieces. So this is fine. Next turn they get to loan back a piece. I guess now they can get something to stop us attacking. No, they just got the stage anyway. I do wish we'd left the Spell Pierce on top now. That was maybe bad, putting the Spell Pierce underneath the Force. So play Wasteland out. If I pass the turn, they just get to waste me and force me to use it, and then make a 20/20. So I have to use it now. And I guess I should waste the Thespian stage, since we saw the Dark Depths in their hand earlier in the game. I know, we know their hand is these 3 cards anyway. I think I meant to choose stage. This is not obvious to me, but... Like, stage does things other than just exist on board. I would be feeling a lot comfier now if we'd kept the Spell Pierce, but... Yeah, opponent could probably just get Knackle there. It's kind of tempting to make the 20/20 though, and then, like, bolt a fairy out the way. Okay. Well, we now have Force up, which is nice. They might have another Crop Rot, maybe. So we're just going to force this. Oh my god, that's ridiculous, Nucleo. That is very silly. Oh my god. I think my opponent waited because they wanted to eat the go. They have to wait, right? They have to wait. Because if they don't wait, we just leave lots of fairies back, and then they can't attack. Whereas by waiting, we attack with all the fairies. They make a 20/20, block the angler or whatever, and then they get to punishing fire our fairies so they can attack us. So they have to wait. It's correct for our opponent to be waiting there, because it means they actually can try and kill us that turn. Whereas otherwise, we just like leave fairies back and they can't attack through. Bitter Blossom is very, very good, yeah. It's kind of gross. So we want this stuff. Therapy's quite bad. The Ancient Grudge and a Braid can be reasonable. I think a Braid can be reasonable because it's like split card for Tireless Tracker or their artifacts, but I'm not going to bring it in the dark. Once we see their deck with a Surgical game 2, we can bring this in game 3. So what cards do we want to take out? Traditionally I'd cut like a Young Pyromancer. I kind of hate the card in this matchup. Cut a Bolts. These are so bad against Tabernacle. And on the draw the Pierces are quite bad. I think the Dazes are not great either, but you just need like something to do. Two lands decks play Chalice. Sometimes they have like 1 or 2 Chalices in the board. It's not like a core part of their strategy though. Do we want anything else? I don't think so. On the play, I'll like bring Pierces back in, I think. On the draw, I don't want them. I could reasonably bring in a Braid. But I think that's one of those things where I prefer to see that post-board setup. I am not thrilled about this hand because it is very weak to Punishing Fire, but it's probably a keep. I guess it's not that weak to Punishing Fire, we have Surgical, right? So it's fine. So this is probably a keep. I'm not thrilled about it. It's like a 1-lander too. Opponent's on a Mortifor. Dece. Yeah, this hand isn't bad. If we didn't have the Surgical, we'd have to send it back, but I think it's better than it initially looked. Mortifor is probably game. Yeah, if they have a Loam, maybe they can get back in it. I guess we've got the Shaman though, so like Loam doesn't even do anything, like Shaman plus Surgical. Yeah, turn 1 Death Right's very hard to pass up, agree. Land down. I did find a team. I'm teaming with Niels Norlander and Bradley Yu. So I'm very, very excited about my team. I think it's pretty strong. So make a black mana, cast my Shaman. Pray that they don't have Tabernacle. Yeah, we're a bit nervous about Tabernacle, agree. Tabernacle would be a powerful card, like Crop Rock Tabernacle works too. Though leaves them on very few resources, so... the PT's all constructed, there's no limited. We will not reveal that Underground Sea. Yes, we're gonna swing up with some Shamans. I agree, Cliffy. Except if you've seen Crop Rots in their hand or whatever, but so I could like hold up. I guess next turn I get to cast Bolts and start activating Shamans. This turn I'm just gonna attack with my Mopey army. You could also hold up Shamans to like eat lands. If they like cycle a cycle land and cast Loam, but whatever. I cut Spell Pierces and I cut a Pyromancer. I think Bolt's reasonable. Sometimes they board in trackers against you, and like you also get in games where like you need Bolts to get around Glacial Chasm. I feel like that comes up a not insignificant amount of the time. So we can hold up Hardcast Force, I guess. I guess we're probably just meant to do that. Sick. Alright, with 4-0. Easy 4-0. Hey, Minifa. Alright, I would like a trophy. One time, please. Trophy sounds great. Sam Pardee was on Grixis Delver. So far we've played, this league was 2 Grixis Delver mirrors, Punishing Pile, and lands. Delver's sweet, I love this deck so much. It might actually just be my favourite deck ever. I enjoy playing it way too much. When lands misses its first land drop. Not living up to its title. This is fine. It's very, very unexciting, but it's got cantrips. So, we don't really know what we're up against. But I think I'm still going to ponder turn 1. I do know that I want a Fret that I can cast next turn. So I have like some idea what I'm looking for, and soft counter magic would also be nice. So Daze is reasonable. I guess Daze isn't great with this true name. I'm gonna... It could be Miracles, it could also just be like Sneak and Show or something. I'm gonna put Delver, Daze, Probe, and then probe them and see what's going on. That means we have the Daze in hand for their turn. It is Miracles. We have a tough final matchup. This is not the easiest one. Especially with Verdicts in their main deck. Verdicts are really good. Especially with this hand, yeah. This hand is not ideal in this matchup. I guess I'm probably just meant to lead on Brainstorm without showing them I have a fetch. Kind of loose. Right. Probably putting back the fetch and a bolt. I think I'm going to hold on to this Daze for a little while longer. Yeah, these are not my favourite Brainstorms. I do like Mercadian Masks the most. I just don't happen to own them online and haven't got around to replacing my ones. Strong agree that Mercadian Masks Brainstorms are the best Brainstorms though. By like a lot. So what are the chances they're just floating Terminus as their next card? I think that's pretty high. Since they put it back from the Brainstorm. Flooded Strand. I will not reveal my Flooded Strand. I will attack with my 1/1. Alright, what am I doing? Am I just shuffling away this wasteland? There's a decent chance this wasteland never tags something. This is an aggressive brainstorm, but yeah, I agree, it's pretty bad, especially when we know they have access to Supreme Verdict. I'm gonna brainstorm here and then shuffle, I think. Jeez, so much trash. I think there is such a good probability that these wastelands never end up doing anything in this match, so I'm going to shuffle them away. And then look for an instant or sorcery for this. And I think I'd like another black source over anything else. Force. Yeah, I bought out like 2 wastelands in this matchup. Sometimes they do stuff and sometimes they're just complete garbage. So I can probe into Force to have an idea of how I want to do things and then leave Bolt on top and maybe just cast my next Delver, depending on what I see. Okay. So this can like instruct how we want to play out our threats. So we know they still have the Supreme Verdict and they have Portent Force. Yeah, you just go down 2 lands. Like, wastelands aren't really lands, they're like half lands. So they still have the Verdict, which is not surprising. They also have a Swords though. There's like a lot of pressure on us here. Like, we can't... There's like no plan that works except going 1 thread at a time, but that gives them so much time. I think I'm just gonna pass. Like, it really sucks, but I don't think throwing 2 Delvers into the Supreme Verdict accomplishes anything. And because they have Force with blue card, we can't fight over a Terminus if they were to have left 1 on top. Obviously it's going to be very, very hard to win this game from here. I'm tempted to Pierce plus Daze. We lose access to our Force potentially then. It's nice to get to trade these in for something and keep our Delver in play, though. Like, guarantees us free damage. I'm gonna do this. Cool. So we get in our free damage, which is great. Puts them to 14. I think I'm just saying go. Yeah, they play back to basics, like 1 or 2 copies, which is frustrating, but I think I'm just meant to say go here. I don't think I accomplish anything by throwing more threats into the Supreme Verdict. I'm going to hold this land in case I draw a Brainstorm. It means I can't play around like main deck Flusterstorm as well, but that's fine. Important. They shuffled, which is good for us. They did not hit a Terminus, did they? They hit a Swords. I think I'm gonna force this. Forcing this is like 3 damage, right? Puts them to 11. They have a Tundra in hand. They just don't want to play it because they don't want it to get wasted. Maybe this is fine. Maybe I just let this resolve. Yeah, it's in their hand. I'm not in love with letting this resolve, but okay. I don't want to. They have Counterspell up. If they have Counterspell up, I want to do like multiple things. We have Therapies on the board. I don't have any main deck. I think I'm going to play True Name and force them to spend their turn verdicting. Oh, that's a decent plan, Minifer. I actually like that. Force them to verdict, resolve True Name. I definitely think I like holding the True Name, at the very least. So I'm going to lead with Shaman. I think I quite like your plan. I think it gives us like a decent shot here. And like drawing towards blue card gives us like a lot of outs. And there's no way they don't verdict this board as well. Even if we don't find a blue card, we can still just like cast True Name and hope. But drawing a blue card makes it much more convincing. Yep. Alright, we did not draw a blue card. I'm gonna jam the True Name. And just like, I think I meant to jam the True Name. They probably have the spell for the Force. But I think I need to do something impactful here. Casting a Deathrite Shaman just isn't very impactful. Force, pitch, Force. Yeah, that's fine. There's no way they don't Wrath my 1-2 and my 1-1. Just legacy things. That's pretty good. Force was a turn late. Force was a turn late. EE on 1. I don't exactly win the game by forcing this. I've seen it in some Miracles lists, Nuclear, but it's far from a staple at the moment, as far as I'm aware. Like, what's my out here? Just drawing my other True Name? I don't think protecting Deathrite Shaman achieves anything is the problem. Yeah, opponent's playing very well, agree. I think I just have to draw my, like, second true name in the next turn or two. Jace is pretty much game over, I'm not denying it. We're like 1 or 2% to win this game. From here, yeah, I still think the play was correct. Despite that. Alright, I'm going to leave it one more turn, and then I'm going to scoop next turn if we haven't found anything. So this is pretty over. They put a card on bottom. Interesting. Is that portenting my library to stop me drawing a card for a turn? Well, I'm gonna see if they left a bolt on top, I guess, and then probably scoop in about 10 seconds. Cool. Okay. That's a tiny bit rough. Supreme Verdict. It's quite the magic card. So, Pyroblast is obviously great. Island is an upgrade to drop against Back to Basics. The Lilianas are excellent. And the therapies are, like, decent. Especially against Supreme Verdict, they're kind of nice. I see people board... Spell Pierce is, like, fine as well, as is Surgical. Surgical is, like, I'm not over the moon about, but it's reasonable. I'm going to cut 2 Wastelands as a starting point. I'm going to cut the Trop to replace it with an Island. The Dead Gone is useless. We were never going to have a clock advantage, alright. I timed it out against Nassif, it was quite rough. Yeah, I take out bolts, agree. Yeah, I like to trim to 2 bolts. I'm always unsure. Yeah, I don't like cutting dazes. I think daze is very important, agree. I'm always unsure about therapy. It's like, I've had it be fairly mediocre for me. But I've had, like, seen other people find it, like, amazing. So, it's kind of tough to evaluate. Like, I have watched games where it's very good. I just haven't really had those experiences myself yet. Yeah, I could just trim one more waste. You find therapy terrifying? Okay. I'll keep trying this out then. That's what I heard from Callum as well. Callum was saying he finds therapy terrifying, even though it's felt really mediocre from the Delver side for me. To cut 2 more cards. I honestly don't love Angler, as weird as that sounds. I think it's like our worst threat in the matchup. I also think trimming another waste is fine. I don't really want to trim any more counter magic. The counter magic gets better post board too. Do I want to make room for the therapies? These are like the most obvious cuts to me, which I'm not in love with, but let's try it out. I'm still like, this is one of those matchups I still feel like I'm trying to figure out. This is like one of the matchups I'm least confident in. I know cuts Angler, but you like it a lot. You cut Wasteland because you think one of the main ways to lose the matchup is drawing Wastelands. That makes sense, Daniel. Yeah, I will do that. Just for clarity, like, do I know you at all elsewhere? I cannot connect a username to an actual name here. But I would be interested in jamming some of the matchup. It's a matchup I need more practice in. I'm just going to lead on Ponder. I could hold up Pyroblast or Cantrip, I guess. But this is fine. Bitter Blossom. That is a very good card. And we get to keep the second C in case we find a Liliana later. Right. I'm gonna draw the Bitter Blossom because they have Portent in their deck. It's like really unlikely they'd Portent us, but they're not gonna look at our hand anyway. So I might as well just draw it. Now I have Bitter Blossom with Force backup, which is going to be incredible. It's like basically the most powerful opening I could have. Okay, thanks for the offer, Minifer. I might take you up on that at some point. I'm just going to jam this Bitter Blossom. It can't get Flusterstormed. If it trades with a Force, that's good. I'd be kind of surprised if they have many Forces left in. And now we just get to start making fairies whilst having counter backup up. There's the one downside to fetching, to having the second C, is we can't go Pyro with Pyroblast up. But I still think I like having access to Liliana mana for later. Pierce. Wow. So now we can actually just like protect this really well. If I play the Pyromancer this turn, I actually speed up my clock a considerable amount. So I think I like doing that. It means I don't get to hold up Pyroblast or Cantrip, but I can do that later on. Like, the other option is I just hold up triple counter magic and let this kill them in like 6 or 7 turns, but I think that's like a tiny bit too slow for my tastes. Okay, just want to do this. Puts them on like a 4-ish turn clock. With us having triple counter magic. We are indeed doing it. And even if they have a verdict, it basically ones for ones, and we still have the Bitter Blossom making tokens afterwards. So we could have a Snapcaster, but we have the Pyroblast. So we get to attack with the Pyromancer. And they'd have like Snapcasted on their turn anyway for the Ponder, right? I think I'm just going to cast one of these Brainstorms. We still get to hold up like both of these. Feels like a bit of a spew. It's probably fine. Predict. So we know they know what what's on top, right? They just played an island. I guess if I counter this with the Spell Pierce, I still have 2 actual counter spells. And I would like to stop them gaining like too much traction. Main thing you're scared of is EE. Yep. EE would be problematic. I think this is fine to pierce. Feels like a bit of an aggressive use of pierce. You just let this go. Alright. I'll just trust you on that, I think. I guess we just want to, like, keep having all of this up. It probably doesn't change our clock at all either. We're going to go up to 3, 4, 5, hit them to 12. 6, hit them to... So alternatively we'd go up to 6 power, hit them to 11, and then 7, hit them to 4, so it makes no difference to our clock. Bitter Blossom is all I need for sure. I probably shouldn't be playing too worried. This is fine. I do not care about this. We got our token. We got a Flusterstorm out their hand. Means they can't fluster our counter magic, which is more important. Yeah, that happens a lot. Zabbat, I talk a lot. Engineered explosives. Rude. Alright, I could just let this resolve. I feel like I meant to force it. They probably just counter back, and I don't achieve much though. Let it resolve, since we can't counter back properly anyway. It's an E on 0, so it doesn't deal with the things that matter. Yep, that makes sense. Bitter Blossom and Pyro matter. Yeah. I agree. Sure. Yeah, being on 0 is kind of weird. Yep. I just don't have to do anything but, like, make sure these don't get removed. Or, like, mainly make sure Bitter Blossom doesn't get removed. That makes complete sense. I feel like countering this just like changes our clock so much. I guess they still get to clear up the tokens with the EE, but we have to get through the EE at some point, right? Yeah, this is tough. Agree. You think I just grind through it? I mean, they do have more raw card advantage, though, in their deck. You think you'd let it go? I think I force 2. I like forcing her. Like, they just have more raw card advantage in their deck. I feel like if we let them sweep the board twice without getting, like, any meaningful damage across, it's just gonna be very hard for us to actually get there. And, like, our Spell Pierce is gonna go more dead the longer we leave this as well. Yeah, I was kind of wondering at the time whether that Brainstorm was a spew. In retrospect, it does look like one. Agree. Now we force them to crack the EE, though. Which is nice. Comes Mentor. Yep. Now they get to crack EE before they start making tokens, I guess. So I can attack with my tokens, force them to crack this, and then try and find a bolt for the Mentor. Ponder first. But I want to be able to make a token. Like, this way they crack their EE before I make the token, right? So this is just a shuffle, because I just need to... Like, Therapy empties out their hand. You can force them into top deck mode so the Mentor doesn't make things. Therapy's a great hit, yeah. I think I'm keeping the Therapy, so that I can try and shut down the Mentor. Agree. I think this is, like, just about good enough to keep. Alright, what am I naming? We have Pyroblast for Snapcaster anyway. So my inclination is Brainstorm. I think I just want to name something that makes a token. I think I'm going to name Brainstorm. You think we name Jace? It's true, we haven't seen his swords yet. I just feel like Snapcaster doesn't matter too much because we have this Pyroblast. You think it's unlikely they have Brainstorm? Mentor, Explosives, Terminus. Well, I was naming none of those cards, so, you know, that's a thing. They can Terminus again next turn if they hit a land. I think I'm losing this game, sadly. Yeah, I need to name Explosives, agree. At least the Terminus kills the Mentor. Yep. Yep. I agree, Daniel. Stop reading chat. Okay, I will focus. Alright. I want to draw that death right, I think. So, I'm not going to shuffle. Yeah, if they miss on a cantrip, we're in a fine spot. They drew a land. Sick. I'm gonna shuffle because I have a Daze on top. Find another Volk. I want to hold up Deathrite Shaman for the sorcery speed cantrips. I can also like technically cast Force if they cast a sorcery speed spell. Cool. They are bricking, which is great. Just gonna choose something. We can double block, that's true. I was not thinking, I was just kind of playing fast since I felt like we couldn't really lose this. From this position. Cool. Alright, I have to win game 3 in 2 minutes, but you know, 3 minutes. You think I'm the real winner? I play quite slowly online. I play much faster on paper, but something about talking to other people slows me down a lot. Side out therapy is because they take too much clock. Fair. That's reasonable, Daniel. Like trim a therapy, bring in like a pierce because of time. Daze is worse on the draw, it's still good, I think. I think Daze is still good. Even on the draw. At most I'd trim like 1 copy on the draw, I think. Thanks, Jim. I hope so too. We do have the slight issue of not having much time, but you know, this is a mulligan. Rare hand where Trop would be better than Island. They're on a multi-6 too though. Spell Pierce is fine. I kind of want another threat. I've already got 2 pieces of counter magic. I'm gonna bottom that. Mulliganing takes too much time. We can't afford it. Oh my god. Alright. Mentor Brainstorm back to basics. Where's that island I had? I had an island, didn't I? Swear I had an island. Okay. Actually, it's gonna get another underground sea. I think. Maybe I was meant to hold up force there, it's fine. Yeah. Deathrite Shaman, clearly the best possible threat in this scenario. Tiny bit slow. Oh my god. That's so slow. It's so slow. Alright. I mean, 4 turns and then we start spewing out zombies, right? Exciting. Bye-bye, Death, right? Please let me untap. I'm gonna have enough time. Lily ult is quite speedy, I'll have you know. critical mistake casting spells into the Flusterstorm. I'm just gonna F6 every turn, and these zombies are gonna win at some point. I could cast Liliana, it takes so much time though, and I feel like I can't lose with the zombies if I F6 every turn. And attack all every turn, you know? Like, I just used up 0 seconds there for that turn cycle. Remove all stops. You think that's the correct thing to do? It might be the correct thing to do. Just stop playing Magic. I guess I'm not meant to attack here, but it's fine. They will rebuild. That's adorable. Oh my god. Porphyry nodes versus zombies. Who will win? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just gonna do something a sec. Before I forget, I'm gonna put these stops back on. For anyone who's not watched the stream before, that's a reasonably common occurrence. As in the almost timeout is a reasonably common occurrence. Not the trophies, those are really rare, but you know. Oh my god. I am 100% opening a victory treasure chest from that. Whew. Season of Creation. Okay. Oh my lord, I need to like lie down. What's actually gonna happen is we're gonna cube in a minute. Yeah, that was a strange. I guess my opponent figured they couldn't. I couldn't win with Liliana in time, right? That's probably what they figured. Which is fair assumption. More Delver. I do want to play more Delver. I'm probably gonna play more Delver next week. I've been finishing off most of my streams with like a cube draft or two this week. I am enjoying Delver though. We are on a winning streak. The Reanimator was fun. We went 4-1 with it. I should run a poll. Alessia, you remember how to run polls. I don't. Can you set up a poll for Delver or Cube? And we'll see how people vote.